The Rose Bowl is officially underway. We check in with our crew in California to check in with fans. Plus, we see how Badger fans here are celebrating. Before the game, there's this long-standing tradition. We'll tell you how long people camped out to catch a glimpse of the Tournament of Roses parade. Plus, recreational marijuana is now legal in Illinois, and someone from our area was first in line in Rockford.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Good evening. Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us. I'm Danica Lewis. The Rose Bowl is underway in sunny Pasadena, California. Due to broadcasting rules, unfortunately, we can't show you what's going on, but we can tell you how Wisconsin is doing, and the news is good for Oregon. First on the board, with the Badgers have now taken the lead 10-7, and they are driving. We'll have another update at 6, and then live recaps from Pasadena on News 3 Now at 10. Thousands of Badgers fans are rooting for the team out in California as they face off against the Ducks, but thousands here in Madison are hoping for a Rose Bowl victory as well. At Lucky's Bar right now, fans are anxious and excited, as you can imagine, hoping history does not repeat itself. You may remember the Badgers fell to Oregon in the Rose Bowl back in 2012. But no matter what, fans are loving the opportunity to have a good time, and businesses certainly welcome all of it as well.
Oh, yes, I wouldn't expect anything less. Wisconsin fans are definitely diehard fans, so we're all here rooting for them today.
It's always great to see our fans come back, and we had a great time during the Big Ten tournament as well, so it's nice to keep that enthusiasm going. Especially, the women's volleyball team just had a great run too, so it's been, pretty much nonstop for us.
Lucky said they were actually packed last night because of New Year's Eve, and then doubled up on orders of beer and liquor in anticipation of 2 very busy days. So out in Southern California, Badger fans are culminating a week by taking in the parade, tailgating, and of course, then it was game time. Eric Franke has more from Pasadena.
It could not be much better than this on New Year's Day in Pasadena outside the Rose Bowl. A beautiful sun-soaked January 1st. And of course, the Badger faithful, one thing they know how to do better than anybody else is party before a Badger game. How's the pregame going?
It's going well. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I've never been out to the Rose Bowl, so this is really cool.
Let's go Badgers! Have you assessed the fan ratio? Are we seeing a little more red than green this week?
I was walking around LA all of yesterday, and it's all Badger fans. All Badger fans.
You are really soaking in this whole experience, it looks like.
100%, 100%. We got out here early, day after Christmas. We were on the beaches, Venice Beach, Manhattan Beach for about 4 days, and now we showed up here, and we're just having a great time.
And of course, join us again at 6 o'clock. We'll have more of the pregame festivities, and we'll have all of your post-game wrap-up tonight on News 3 Now at 10. In Pasadena, Eric Franke, News 3 Now.
So the fun began long before kickoff with the Tournament of Roses parade. 39 floral decorated floats, 20 marching bands, lots of horses, and plenty of dancers made their way along the 5.5-mile route. That included a Richland County couple honored on one of the floats and the Wisconsin and Oregon marching bands. Some people camped out all night to get a good spot.
It was cold. And is it worth it now? Yes.
The weather, just the pageantry, everybody that's out here, it's really fun, and everybody is really optimistic and enthusiastic.
It is the 131st year for this parade. The theme this year was the power of hope. So I'm pretty sure we won't have Pasadena weather for us, but let's check in with your first alert forecast, that is, with meteorologist Dave Caulfield. And Dave, pretty quiet start to the new decade.
You know what, Danica? We had some sunshine today, also some clouds as well. Temperatures were about 30 degrees colder today compared to where they were in Pasadena, but still mild to start 2020. Doppler track showing a weak disturbance well to the north, causing some snow showers closer to the UP and the Northwoods. But for us, we have not really seen anything in the way of flurry action as we head into tomorrow. Some patchy drizzle can't be ruled out, but I think most of us stay dry with mild temperatures again. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at cloudy skies. Temperatures right now are in the upper 30s and still the low 40s out closer to Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. Some wind speeds have been gusty today out of the south, so helping us stay a little bit mild at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So your day planner as we head into tonight, temperatures really not falling all that much in the 30s, and then highs tomorrow in the low 40s, even though we'll see plenty of cloud cover. We'll talk about the possibility of some snowflakes as we get closer to the weekend in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dave. An hours-long standoff in Fond du Lac is over tonight, and luckily no one was hurt. Police were called to a home there just after 6:30 this morning after several reports of shots fired. Officers also heard gunshots when they arrived on scene, but could not make contact with the shooter. SWAT and crisis negotiation teams arrived soon after. 5 hours later, 3 people came out of the home. So far, no one has been arrested. Fitchburg police are investigating a robbery at a restaurant last night. This happened at the Pancheros Mexican Grill on McKee Road right around 7 o'clock. Police say the man demanded money using what was described as an implied threat and then ran off. A K-9 team was called in but couldn't track him down. No one was injured. Police are asking anyone with information to call Fitchburg Police or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. A Janesville man is starting the new year behind bars after telling police he fired a gun to celebrate. Janesville police responded to gunfire in the area of West Holmes Street and South Franklin Street around 3 a.m. They found shell casings in front of the home and a gun in a car, along with a small amount of blood. 3 people were detained and another gun was found inside the home. Police say Zarek Hammett admitted to shooting the gun to ring in 2020. He's facing tentative charges of endangering safety by use of a dangerous weapon and possession of a firearm by a felon. No one was injured, and the blood in the car is not believed to be linked to this incident. A Madison nightclub with a history of fights and weapons violations is officially closed for the next 3 months. Visions nightclub was set to close at the top of the hour. In November, the Madison Alcohol License and Review Committee decided to allow the club to stay open if the owners served a 90-day liquor license suspension. Those owners decided to close over that period of time. So over the next few months, they'll need to come up with various security upgrades. Those include new surveillance systems and a weapons screening policy. Recreational marijuana sales in Illinois started today. The doors opened at 6 a.m. at the Sunnyside dispensary in Rockford, where the first purchase was made by a Madison resident. Courtney Sisk shows us how busy it was throughout the morning.
Today is a very historic day for Illinois.
Illinois became the 11th state to legalize recreational marijuana.
Finally.
The Sunnyside dispensary in Rockford opened its doors at 6 a.m. Wednesday for the first sales, but some waited long before then.
Trying to be number 1 versus number 10.
Danny Connors was 10th in line when Denver legalized recreational sales. A Madison, Wisconsin resident, Connors ensured a number 1 spot at the Illinois dispensary by arriving before midnight on New Year's Eve.
It's freedom. When they ask me, what's it mean to you coming so far out, it means I don't have to look over my shoulder.
Connors was not alone in his determination.
A few buddies came here at 10 p.m. last night, were camping in their cars. I was not about to do that.
Absolutely. And everybody's got their little list of what they want.
To go inside the dispensary, customers need an ID and cash.
Curious to try out their product and see how good it is.
Spokespeople say the goal is for everyone to find something they'll benefit from.
And really, the concept is you don't need to be a patient to want to sleep better or to function better or to feel better every day.
A pre-rolled joint costs $15 and concentrates can range up to $80. Aside from recreational enjoyment, eager customers hope the sales help the state.
I hope that now that it's legalized, it brings a lot of revenue here and brings more jobs.
Driving under the influence of cannabis is still illegal, and you cannot bring marijuana over state lines into Wisconsin. That's still considered illegal as well. Law enforcement across Wisconsin say that they will be enforcing those laws. Speaking of laws, a number of new ones went into effect across the country today. In Illinois, DNA data collection companies like Ancestry.com will not be allowed to share test results with health or life insurance companies unless users give their permission. In California, people can now see the information companies collect about them and stop those entities from sharing it, and minimum wage workers in more than 20 states are getting a raise. Well, after the break, we'll take a trip across the pond or to the city of brotherly love to see how they rang in the new year, and an unexpected surprise to kick off 2020. We'll introduce you to a new mom and baby girl celebrating the start of their new year. That's next on News 3 Now at 5.
For consistent, reliable storm tracking, watch First Alert Weather.
Welcome back. A family from Monona got a big surprise to kick off the new year. Just hours into 2020, they welcomed a brand new baby girl. Nora Madeline Elsmo was born at St. Mary's Hospital early this morning. Her mom, Andrea, says she was not expecting to deliver Nora so soon, but she is happy with the extra pictures and memories that has come with having one of the first babies of the decade.
My dad said he's going to save the paper tomorrow, so we'll see 20 years from now when we show her. She'll probably wonder what a newspaper is, but.
Nora weighed 8 pounds. She's 20 inches long. Mom Andrea was also born at St. Mary's 3 decades ago. Well, people across the country and the world are celebrating the start of the new year. The annual Mummers Parade marched down the streets of Philadelphia. The Mummers are known for their gaudy and colorful costumes. This parade has been a tradition in the city of brotherly love for nearly 120 years. And it's almost January 2nd already in London. More than 500,000 people people lined the streets for a New Year's Day parade. 21 American high school marching bands were actually part of the New Year's Day parade, along with a number of other American performers. The parade is in its 34th year. Each year, those performers help raise money for London charities. Turning it over now to Dave Caulfield with a look at that first alert forecast, and it is a bit of a quiet one for the start of 2020. Dave?
Yeah, not too much to catch the eye in this forecast, although we did start off the year on a bit of a mild note. High temperatures across much of the upper Midwest were a little bit higher than we might expect for January 1st. 38 in Madison, 39 in Milwaukee, and 40 in Dubuque. Close to 50 across portions of Iowa and Des Moines and Iowa City. And so as a result, a little bit of that snow depth did leave us today, but we still do have about an inch left in Madison. I do think that a lot of that will leave us tomorrow as temperatures get into the low 40s for highs. Speaking of snow, none for us across southern Wisconsin, but some flurries and snow showers well to the north as a weak disturbance makes its way through portions of Wisconsin and Minnesota. I don't think that we'll see really any action from that as we get into tonight or tomorrow. However, I can't rule out maybe some patchy drizzle at times tomorrow afternoon. Really, I think we're just going to be dealing with mostly cloudy skies for most of us. And speaking of those cloudy skies, we've seen them move in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, especially over the last couple of hours. Today's high of 38. Still about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year, and we'll be in similar temperature territory tomorrow, although maybe a little bit warmer. So January, not March, we're marching into January. That typically is the month where temperatures really don't move that much from the 1st to the 31st, and we should be looking at about a foot of snowfall. Really no big snow events on our radar. Into next week, maybe some spots could pick up some accumulating snow, but really nothing that catches our eye at this point. Temperatures will moderate a little bit by the weekend, but still running a little bit above normal. I still think that we are in for a short cold snap as we get into the middle of next week. On future track, we notice those southerly winds still keeping us mild, and the clouds overnight keeping temperatures pretty steady in the lower to middle 30s to start off Thursday. And then I think those highs make it into the low 40s, even with a lot of cloud cover tomorrow. Really, there is not much of a chance of that patchy drizzle, but a couple of isolated spots may see some areas of fog or drizzle tomorrow afternoon. Don't think it's going to affect too many of us. And then into Friday, temperatures will be in the mid-30s. So we are looking a little bit cooler on Friday. And for the weekend, we're in the 30s as well. Maybe some flurries or some light snow late Friday into early Saturday. Not expecting any accumulations there. We stay in the 30s on Monday, pretty quiet weather. Tuesday, a little bit of snow is possible, and maybe some more snow as we get into next Friday. But again, if we're looking for that big behemoth system to start January, we're not really seeing that on our radar. But what we are seeing right now is your first alert traffic update. Todd Drive and the Beltline looking smooth right now. No major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County. Traffic is generally heading out at the posted speeds. Not too many folks on the roadways with the New Year's Day holiday today. And so everything is showing up green on our drive time map here. Average speeds pretty close to the posted amounts. University Ave eastbound to the interstate, only 15 minutes with an average speed of around 60 miles per hour. Some other routes in and around Madison looking good. The Beltline southbound to Janesville, 24 minutes with an average speed of around 70 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic update.
Thank you so much, Dave. Up next, a museum documenting big moments in journalism closes for good. We'll tell you where all of those artifacts are going, plus a live report from one of the many Rose Bowl watch parties when News 3 Now returns. Welcome back. A quick update. Wisconsin still leading the Oregon Ducks 10-7. Thousands of fans right here in Madison really hoping for a Rose Bowl victory. And Keely Arthur joins us live from Regent Street tonight. Keely, how's it going?
Hi, Danica. It's going well. I cannot describe to you how loud this bar, Lucky 13 was when the Badgers scored that touchdown at the start of the game. Obviously, they're getting a little nervous right now. I'm a fan myself. If you look at my t-shirt, it says Bucky versus Ducky. This is actually a t-shirt that I wore in Pasadena when the Badgers lost to the Ducks in 2012. And so many people in this room have seen a lot of Badger Rose Bowls before. They're hoping for a win. I have one fan with me here. This is Amanda Elmaker. Amanda, you were at Pasadena when they played TCU in 2011. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm really excited. They're doing really well. It was a little bit, the game was different than last when I was there. And when I was as a senior, it was a really good, fun experience. I was actually just talking to my friends about how we wish we could be there right now. So yeah, a little bit warmer there, yes. Well, we're bringing them good luck here in Madison too. Thank you so much, Amanda. And so many Badger fans are, you know, always optimistic, Danica. That's what makes being a Badger fan so special. Also, really good for businesses right now who are kind of dealing with a slow business in this time of year with all the students gone. We're going to talk a little bit more about business impact in our 6 o'clock hour. Back to you.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting from the shadows of Camp Randall. Thank you so much, Keely. So this one hits home for us a little bit. After a little more than a decade, the museum in Washington, D.C. has officially closed. A lack of funding forced the museum to close on the last day of 2019. Thousands of people spent New Year's Eve, that is, visiting that museum and touring all things journalism.
You open, you have this great run if you're a hit, and you know every show closes. But it's bittersweet for us.
The news artifacts are being removed and put into storage. Johns Hopkins University is taking over the building and turning it into graduate studies facilities. The museum hopes to find a new home in D.C., but for now, the decades worth of work, it's all without a new home. Overseas, after 2 days of demonstrations, the U.S. Embassy in Iraq is finally free of violent protests. Thousands took aim at the embassy in Baghdad, setting fires and throwing projectiles as Marines fired tear gas and American helicopters dropped flares from above. The protest followed deadly airstrikes on Iranian-backed militias in Iraq this week. Eventually, protesters were ordered to leave. President Trump says he does not want war with Iran.
I want to have peace. I like peace. And Iran should want peace more than anybody. So I don't see that happening. No, I don't think Iran would want that to happen. It would go very quickly.
As protesters marched away, some declared victory and said they would continue to work to get U.S. troops to leave Iraq. Well, Dave Caulfield joins us after the break with another check of the New Year's Day forecast when we return.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, rising tensions in Baghdad following yesterday's U.S. Embassy attack. More than 700 American troops now heading to Iraq. We'll have new images from the scene tonight. Plus, we'll meet some extraordinary third graders with a valuable lesson for us all on caring for one another and the power of a simple hug. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Well, most of us were probably watching the ball drop from Times Square last night, but some here in Wisconsin watched something a little more, well, Wisconsin. New Year's celebrations from Plymouth in Sheboygan County included their annual Big Cheese Drop, as you can see here. No, sorry, it's not actual cheese, but Plymouth is the self-proclaimed cheese capital of the world with 4 major cheese plants located there. That includes the name on that wedge, if you can make it out, Sartori.
I'm glad.
Happy New Year.
That's awesome. I'm glad they didn't, I thought they were going to actually drop it from that height.
I thought it was real cheese at first, and I was like, break out the crackers,
yeah,
folks. We're heading to
exactly.
Sheboygan County.
We need some pretty big Ritzes.
Yeah,
there.
no kidding. It wasn't, no threat of it melting, though.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, it was pretty chilly last night. Temperatures tonight will be pretty steady, actually, in the lower to middle 30s. And then tomorrow, another mild day under the clouds, highs in the low 40s. Patchy drizzle can't be ruled out. Some flurries can't be ruled out Friday night into Saturday morning. But really no big snow systems on the horizon. Our next chance of seeing some accumulation comes by next week.
All right. We will see you back here at 6. Thanks for joining us.